What are some of the dangers of mold?
So upper respiratory is the most dangerous, but it can cause all kinds of things, just like hay fever does. Redness of eyes, all of those are problems that we find in children and in upper or older adults that have respiratory problems. So it is a respiratory illness, mold is, and so that's where we're going to find most of those. But you're going to feel if you're prone and not feeling well because of mold, they're going to make you not feel well at all. They're gonna make you have heavy signs of hay fever and things like that. So just like a lot of other things in our world, the youngest and the oldest are the ones that are most vulnerable to mold spores and everything else.
Sure.
But we still don't. I never take it away that there's always customer out there that has those problems, that needs some more TLC because of upper respiratory.
Well, especially like if you have asthma or something.
Right, exactly. All of those kinds of people we want to take special care for. So contractors like ourselves, that's what makes us different than a basic contractor. We have to be trained on quality control measures. We have to set up containments like ET. We have to wear PPE. We have to have HEPA filtration. All of these things have to happen with mold.
Serious.
Because if we cross-contaminate mold to the rest of the home that we're trying to clean, then it's now our fault, and now we've got to clean the rest of the home. So it's real important that you hire a certified or qualified expert to do your mold mitigations. That way, cross-contamination doesn't happen.
Awesome. Okay, that's good to know. That's definitely good to know. So are there warning signs of mold?
So there are. Your biggest warning signs are those water-prone areas and water staining. All of those kinds of things are going to help us understand that there's water in those areas, especially bathtub areas where you have cracking of the tile and grouts. Water can get back into those areas and create mold problems throughout the entire area behind those showers. So are other things that are really telltale signs when a customer calls me out to do an inspection on a home or a visual inspection for mold is how's the baseboard looking as well down towards the flooring. If the baseboard's expanding and contracting, we know that there's been moisture problems there. Moisture's favorite thing to do is expand and contract products, drywalls and baseboards and all those things. So it's a great tell for us. If moisture's been there, the baseboard's pulled back from the wall quite a ways. We've got water staining. All of those kinds of things are the areas that we most know that there's water damage in, especially if someone's not feeling well. And if someone's not feeling well, that means it's mold that's somewhere we probably can't see, and that's when we get the EPA involved. And that's when we have an environmental consultant. So we come out and we do visual inspections. If a customer knows that they have mold, they can literally see it. But if they can't see it, then I recommend that we bring an environmental consultant in, and then they do the air sample test for us. So they do a vacuum sample test, and they do a swab sample test for us, and then say, hey, these are elevated, and they write a protocol. These companies write protocols for companies like us to follow so we can mitigate appropriately and work directly with the regulated EPA consultants.
Wow. So then some molds can go undetected?
Absolutely. There are molds that can go undetected, and if someone's not feeling well, then their upper respiratories or problems, they can detect it better than some of the science can. If you have a sensitivity to that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we find that even some homes that are said to be safe are still uncomfortable for some people that have upper respiratory.
I have a friend of mine. We were actually looking at homes about a year and a half ago, something like that. We walked into one home and she immediately had an asthma attack because she has sensitivity to mold.
To mold, yeah.
And it's just like, well, I guess we won't be looking at this house any further.
Yep, allergies. People with allergies can be really sensitive to mold because that's what mold is essentially.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. So what are some of the dangers of mold that goes undetected? Like if you don't take care of the problem, what are the dangers of that? Yeah, so the dangers of that are upper respiratory, and even people that don't have upper respiratory difficulty, if mold is left in an area, just like we kind of talked about before with elderly and young children,
those things go unlooked or unworked on, then they're going to definitely cause sickness and illnesses.
So basically, get the mold taken care of so that you can stay healthy.
Absolutely. If you think you have mold, then have a professional come out and take a look at it. And if you're still finding that you're having some difficulty, then have the EPA and an environmental consultant help us out as well.
Okay.